One of the first things I'm going to talk about is the rigging for tidal water fishing. And I know Boom Boom's going to talk a little bit about his power finesse approach. Man, I use a power finesse approach to the tides. And I'm going to talk about my rigging on that system. The deal on the power approach with tidal river system is all current based. It's a pretty simple strategy. Like when we're fishing in the southern reservoirs, we know that when they're generating current, man, you better be powering up because that current generates that bite. Well, the same thing happens on tidal river systems. When they're generating, when the current's ripping, you better be using power baits because you're missing opportunities if you're not. If you get caught throwing a finesse worm and a drop shot when that current's ripping at the premium flow, man, you're missing opportunities because the big fish are always feeding when that current's really flowing hard. And here are some of my baits. And I mean, this bait right here is something that you have to have, and they're getting harder and harder to find. This is a Bagley's Killer Bee. This is a Killer Bee 3 and a Killer Bee 2. Those little baits are dynamite, and you can see I'm using one of them right there. That bait right there is won over $100,000 for me. And well, you actually can go extract it for me because it's sitting on a barge on the upper Chesapeake Bay because I lost it this year. And I've tried to go capture it again and again and again, and I haven't been able to get it back. But you can tell, you can just look at it. I mean, the paint's half eaten off of it. It's got teeth marks all up and down it. And it's just a really good bait. And I do that with, man, whether I'm using plastic baits or whether I'm using wooden baits, but especially on wooden baits, if you've got a bait that's catching them, man, you have to take note of that. Put a mark on it, put it in a special little private place in your tackle box, and only bring it out on tournament day. Because there's sometimes baits have just a little something extra special in them, and the fish eat them better. So pay attention to that.
Do you modify it at all?
Do I modify the baits? I modify the bait very little. The one modification that I do is I change out the trebles. And they come with number 4 trebles, and that's the size I use, but I put on the EWGs. Okay? The EWG treble from an engineering perspective is just a fish, it holds the fish better. It just, you can get 1 point in a fish, you got a much better chance of landing them with an EWG than I believe in a standard round bend hook. Okay? But that's pretty much all the modifications that I use to the bait. And I will tell you this, when I'm fishing a crankbait, I always fish with a clip. Now Berkley, makes an excellent snap. Okay, it's a snap that just will not come undone. It's really a powerful little snap. But the reason why I use a snap is so I can change so efficiently. A lot of times I get caught up, I have 20, 30 rods on the deck of my boat. I pretend I'm Mike and Ellie, and I can't pull it off. I mean, I got rods, and everything's getting hung up with each other. I don't know how he does. I've seen him a million times. He'll reach into a pile of 20 rods and grab the one and get it up and make a cast in like 2 seconds. I'll be down on the floor 20 minutes trying to untangle them. But the point is, by having that clip, I can change from a Killer Bee 3, that's a very wide wobbling, to a very tight wobbling bait. I can change colors. I can go to a Killer Bee 2 and change depths. Because as you fish and as the tides fluctuate, you're constantly going to be faced with different conditions, different depths of water, different current in front of you. So one bait is not going to satisfy every condition.
Bass you, folks. Information is pouring over. If you want to learn more about every lake, how to fish, shallow, deep, in between, skipping docks and rocks and cranking, slow wiggling, chatter, smattering, you get it at Bass U. Get on Bass U TV, check it out, sign up, be a member, be part of it, folks. Keep learning.